there, I'm Haley. Think about this. If you're going to pick someone to be king, who would you pick? What would they look like? Tall or short? Young or old? Weak or strong? When God picked the next king of Israel, he picked someone other people didn't expect. Who was it? Let's watch.
Saul had disobeyed God. He was not going to be king of Israel anymore. Israel needed a new king, a better king. God told Samuel to visit a man in Bethlehem named Jesse. Jesse had 8 sons. One of them would be Israel's king. Samuel went to Bethlehem to meet with Jesse and his sons. Jesse's oldest son was tall and handsome. This must be the one God chose to be king, Samuel thought. He's not the one, God said. Do not pay attention to what he looks like. You look at what you can see on the outside, but I see the heart. One by one, Jesse's sons approached Samuel. But God had not chosen any of them. Do you have any more sons? Samuel asked. Yes, Jesse said. My youngest son David is in the field taking care of the sheep. Jesse sent for David. When David arrived, God said, he's the one. Samuel poured oil on David's head. The Spirit of the Lord was with David. Then Samuel went back home. The Spirit of the Lord was not with Saul. Saul was bothered by an evil spirit. Saul's servant thought beautiful music might make Saul feel better. One of Saul's officials knew David could play the harp. Whenever Saul felt trouble, David played his harp and Saul felt better. At that time, Israel was getting ready to fight the Philistines. The Israelites camped on one hill, while the Philistines camped on another. There was a valley between them. The Philistines had a great warrior named Goliath. At 9 feet, 9 inches tall, Goliath was their hero. Goliath shouted at the Israelites, "Send me your best man and we'll fight one-on-one." But none of the Israelites wanted to fight Goliath. They were afraid. When David brought food to his older brothers in the army, he saw Goliath and watched the Israelites run away in fear. Saul offered a reward to the man who killed Goliath, and David volunteered to fight. "You don't stand a chance against Goliath," Saul said. "I've killed wild animals," David explained. "God will keep me safe." Saul allowed David to fight Goliath. David took his slingshot and chose 5 smooth stones from a nearby stream. Goliath saw David and made fun of him because he was just a boy. "You come to fight with a spear and sword," David replied, "but I come to fight in the name of God. God always wins his battles." David ran toward Goliath. He slung a rock at Goliath, and the rock hit Goliath in the forehead. Goliath fell face down, and David killed him without even having a sword. The Israelites were up against their toughest enemies, the Philistines. They didn't stand a chance against Goliath, the mighty Philistine warrior. God gave David power to defeat Goliath. David reminds us of Jesus, who came to save us from our greatest enemies, sin and death. Jesus, the ultimate hero, gives us salvation and eternal life.
David was the youngest son in his family. No one expected him to be Israel's next king. God didn't look at how tall David was or how strong he was. God looked at his heart,